So Imam al-Harawi goes on to list 7 types of self-desires that we will talk about. And inshallah, I will try to explain these 7 with examples. Number 1 is seeking praise. So this is where you perform an act specifically to hear others. Specifically, you perform an act, you perform an action only for the sake so that people will speak well of about your character. I'll give you an example. Uh, Say a man makes a large donation to the local masjid, or building a local community center, right? And he wants to ensure that whatever amount that I have given, my name should be put up in blue, big boards or announcement chart or wherever, that I have donated certain amount to the center, right? For the sole purpose that he should be known as the most generous man in the community, in the neighborhood. That's his purpose, because he's not doing it for the sake of Allah. He's doing it so that people can praise his generosity, that, oh, this guy has donated so much amount and whatnot. Right? So that's one. The second one is appearing good in hearts, the desire to occupy a special place in people's hearts. And I think this is the most common one, because we as human being, not as Muslims, but as human being, we want to be nice to everyone, right? So we often feel that I would want to be seen as a good person. I would want to be seen as a good person by people, right? A good person, right? So what is an example of this? Voluntarily organizing and serving. So for example, there is an adult in the local neighborhood. He's volunteered to organize and serve food at the community center. Maybe during Ramadan, there's a lot of iftar that people in the local community organize for the neighborhood. And uh, he's doing it not for the sake of Allah, not for the reward from Allah, but he's only doing it so that people can see him and feel, oh, this man is such a kind and humble man, right? He's doing it. He's doing all the arrangements. He's making sure that the entire event is being done, seamlessly, right? So he's essentially doing it only to find that special place in people's heart. The third one is avoiding blame, doing a good deed not for Allah's sake, but solely to prevent yourself from being criticized by others. Okay? Like, what will people think if I did this? I don't want to be criticized by people, right? I'm not going to do it no matter what the task is, but I will not do it if people think it is wrong, or people think, or whatever people think, basically. I'll give you a very good example. For example, a young adult attending the early morning. So he's getting up from the bed, going for the prayer in the masjid for Fajr, right? And he's only doing it because he's afraid that if he didn't go for the prayers in the masjid during Fajr, the elders in the community might talk bad about him. Oh, what kind of an adult he is. He's not praying, he's not making his prayers, he's not doing it. He cannot wake up in the morning, he cannot make it for Fajr. Whereas if he has an office, or if he wants to go out for some business trips, he wakes up early in the morning. So only to avoid that criticism, he's going for prayers in the masjid. That is avoiding blame. I don't want to be in the bad lens of people. Another example of this is, which is very commonly seen in the Indian households, uh, uh, which is a lot of young adults in the family only make their prayers because they are afraid of their elders, right? So they only do it because, oh, I don't want to be, I want to be at the end of the anger, or end of the criticism from my elders, because I just didn't pray. So their actions that they're performing is not because I'm doing it for the sake of Allah, but I'm doing it only because I don't want to face the criticism of people. There's another point to this, is because I don't want to be, I'm doing it for the sake of people and not for the sake of Allah, simply because I don't want to be seen as someone who doesn't do it. Another one is, the next one is seeking glorification. There is the internal craving of for others to treat you with an exaggerated level of respect or honor, where you want people to look at you with as a respected personality. And a very good example would be, a community leader, someone who is also a political leader in a lot of cases, and they have this inner desire, craving, that people should find them, people in the community, people in the neighborhood should see them as a very revered personality. And every time they would walk into a room, they would expect everyone to stand up in the honor and respect of them. That is a form of seeking glorification. And no, that's not the action that is preferred in Islam, that you would want to seek glorification from others, and standing up as a sign of respect, kissing the hand as a sign of respect, as a sign of revered personality. No. Now the new trend has emerged in the Muslim community these days, that people have started kissing the hands of other people, right? Specifically the elders in the household. While the action in itself is not bad, the action in itself is not bad, but overdoing the action could lead to some other practices, maybe innovative practices, right? uh, Fifth, which is seeking worldly gain, using any religious act to obtain money, wealth, or any materialistic gains or benefits from others. Example, you are participating in a religious community or a committee or any religious event that is happening with the sole purpose of networking with people, so that you can gain business from them, right? That is an example of seeking worldly gain, seeking materialistic gain or benefit from others, seeking services or love, performing favors for others so that they feel indebted to you, that I have done an ihsan on you, right? This is one word that is very commonly used in a lot of Indian household, that is ihsan. Ihsan, which has a different meaning anyway in Islam if you look at it, but it has been used in a very different context. Specifically, the one that I'm talking about right now, it's seeking services from others, right? So, since I am such a good man that I have done a ihsan on you, I have done good to you, now you should be indebted to me, right? Lending money to a struggling neighbor, for example, and obviously, you know, one of the commands of Allah is that a Muslim should look after the neighbor as well. Not in everything, of course, but some aspect of it is you owe to your neighbor as well. You have some rights over your neighbors, and the neighbor has some rights over you. So when you help them, support them, you do this only for the sake of Allah, but not for the sake that I am doing you a favor and then you are indebted to me until you do a favor on me, until you return that, right? Until we even that score is what essentially people do. The last one is seeking help for oneself, doing a deed with the underlying intent of securing someone's future assistance that or support from your own needs. Example would be in you helping a local politician or helping influential community to organize a religious event with the underlying motive that when the time comes for my support, if I ever need you, I will call in that chip. Yeah. For example, I need a special recommendation from the local political leader, I will do it. I will come asking for you only because I had volunteered to help you to organize that event in the community, for the community, right? So these are the 7 type of self desires that Imam al-Harawi was talking about, and how we should stay away from these things. In fact, the only way to stay away from these is to only and only do one thing, which is form an intention that Anything that I am doing is only for the sake of Allah, only to please Allah. If it is not pleasing to Allah, that's it. Khalas, I'm not doing it. I will not do it.